Hello, and this is Storytime with Elvin. Today we are reading Happy Haunting, Amelia Bedelia by Herman Parrish, illustrated by Lynn Sweat. When Amelia Bedelia arrived for work, she could not believe her eyes. "Oh my gosh," said Amelia Bedelia. "What has happened to the house?" "This is terrible," said Amelia Bedelia. "Mr. and Mrs. Rogers must need me. Someone has ruined their house." She ran to the front door. "Ah!" yelled Amelia Bedelia. "Help!" Mr. and Mrs. Rogers rushed outside. "Hold still," said Mrs. Rogers. "Hold still," said Mrs. Rogers. "I will get the bats off of your belfry." Said Mr. Rogers. "That would be a full-time job. She has made me bats for years." "You are untangled, Amelia Bedelia," said Mrs. Rogers. "Come inside and relax." "Wow," said Amelia Bedelia. "Who wrecked your house?" "We did," said Mrs. Rogers. "We are getting ready for Halloween." "Is that tonight?" said Amelia Bedelia. "How did you forget?" said Mr. Rogers. "Those bats on the front porch must have made you batty." "Sorry," said Amelia Bedelia. "I have been very busy. I was at school helping children making their costume." "Good for you," said Mrs. Rogers. We invited all of our neighbors for a Halloween party, and you too, tonight. The best costume wins a prize." "Gosh," said Amelia Bedelia. "Your house looks so spooky." "Thank you," said Mrs. Rogers. "The spookier the better." "That is the idea," said Mr. Rogers. "What fun," said Amelia Bedelia. "I will help you clean up." "No, you won't," said Mr. Rogers. "I worked hard to get this place to look shabby." "Then I will help you mess up," said Amelia Bedelia. "What should I do first?" "Hand me that hammer," said Mr. Rogers. "But first, crack a window. It has gotten very warm in here." "Gosh!" "Uh-oh," said Amelia Bedelia. "I tried just to crack it, but I broke it instead." "Amelia Bedelia," said Mr. Rogers. "I meant open the window a bit." "It is open," said Amelia Bedelia. "There are lots of bits and pieces." "It's not your fault, dear," said Mrs. Rogers. "Besides, that broken window made our house look truly haunted." Mr. Rogers shook his head. "I think both of you have gotten batty," he said. "What is next?" said Amelia Bedelia. "Let's see," said Mrs. Rogers. "A lot of people are coming tonight. We should add a leaf to the table." "A leaf?" said Amelia Bedelia. "Yes, of course," said Mrs. Rogers. "A leaf or two makes the table larger. Do you know where to find the leaves?" "Of course I do," said Amelia Bedelia. "Before you go," said Mr. Rogers, "please hand me that witch." "That witch what?" said Amelia Bedelia. "Not what," said Mr. Rogers. "Which? Which what?" said Amelia Bedelia. "Not which what," said Mr. Rogers. "That witch here, with the pointy hat." Amelia Bedelia held up two witches. They both had pointy hats. She said, "Which witch do you want?" "Whichever," said Mr. Rogers. "No, I mean, whatever witch. Oh, skip it. Just get those leaves." Amelia Bedelia skipped away. "Good thing it is fall," said Amelia Bedelia. "I can get a lot of leaves for the table." She saw something wriggle under a leaf. "Sorry, Mr. Worm, but back you go," she said. "You!" called Mrs. Rogers from the kitchen window. "There is no time to do yard work. I need your help." Amelia Bedelia went inside. "There you go," said Amelia Bedelia. "Now the table looks smaller to me, but it is so much prettier." Mrs. Rogers always has great ideas. Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. "There you are," said Mrs. Rogers. "You are so creative with food. Let us cook up some gruesome goodies." "Good," said Amelia Bedelia. "This worm casserole needs more spaghetti." Cranberry juice makes a tasty vampire punch. Crumble up cookies for the kitty litter cake. We need more eyeballs. I'll peel another bunch of grapes. Dried apricots make delicious ears. There was a knock on the kitchen door. Trick or treat, said cousin Alkulu. I do not know any tricks, said Amelia and Bedelia, but you can sample some treats. Thank you, said cousin Alkulu. Mr. Rogers walked into the kitchen. Something smells good, he said. Well, it sure isn't me, said cousin Alkulu. I've been working very hard. I've harvested a load of pumpkins for the party tonight. How generous, said Mr. Rogers. Do you know how to carve jack-o'-lanterns? I did one, said cousin Akulu. He showed them his pumpkin. That face looks very familiar, said Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers tried not to laugh. Very funny, said Mr. Rogers. But that pumpkin is too handsome. Have you got anything scarier? Wait here, said cousin Akulu. He went out to his truck. Cousin Akulu returned with the scariest scarecrow ever. Meet Oswald, said cousin Akulu. He scares away birds for miles. Ooh, said Mrs. Roger. He sends shivers down my spine. Oswald can sit here for tonight. He doesn't scare me, said Mr. Rogers. I do not know the meaning of the word fear. You don't? Said Amelia Bedelia. The word fear is in the dictionary. I will look it up for you. Show me later, said Mr. Rogers. I must get my costume ready. I'm going to be a circus strongman. Then I'm going to be a queen, said Mrs. Rogers. Amelia Bedelia, what is your costume going to be? Gee, said Amelia Bedelia. I do not have a costume. Sure you do, said Mr. Rogers. You wear a costume every day. Mrs. Rogers glared at her husband. What do you mean, said Amelia Bedelia. These are my clothes, not a costume. I always dress like this. Mr. Rogers felt bad about what he said. He was too embarrassed to say anything. Come along, Amelia Bedelia. I have an idea for you and cousin Akulu. See you tonight, said Mr. Rogers. Amelia Bedelia did not reply. That night, as darkness fell, the house really did look haunted. Spooky music with scary sounds made it even more fun. Floorboards creaked, chains rattled, moans and groans filled the air. Clickety, clickety, click. The doorbell rang. Our first trick-or-treaters, said Mrs. Roger. Would you get the front door, dear? Yes, Your Majesty, said Mr. Rogers. As soon as he went out of sight, Mrs. Rogers ran to the back door. While Mr. Roger was handing out treats at the front door, Mrs. Roger let in a trick at the back door. Right this way, said Mr. Rogers. Thank you, said the skeleton. I was dying to come in. The party food was a big hit. Care for an eyeball, said the girl to her daddy. Yuck, he said. Yum, she said. They are good and disgusting. Try some finger food, said Mr. Rogers. Ooh, cool. These cookies have little fingers, said the boy. They were Amelia Bedelia's idea, said Mr. Rogers. Where is she? Asked the boy. Good question, said Mr. Rogers. May I have 2 cups of blood? Asked the girl. My pleasure, said Mrs. Rogers. I love your costumes. Amelia Bedelia helped us, said the little boy. Wonderful, said Mrs. Rogers. Maybe you will win the prize. Have you seen Amelia Bedelia? Said Mr. Rogers. Not yet, said Mrs. Rogers. She might not come, thanks to you. What did I do wrong? Said Mr. Rogers. You know, said Mrs. Rogers. You made fun of her clothes. I feel terrible, said Mr. Rogers. I will apologize when I see her. Just then, Mr. Rogers shuddered. What is wrong? Said Mrs. Rogers. It sounds silly, said Mr. Rogers, but that scarecrow gives me the creeps. Scaredy cat, said Mrs. Rogers. It looks alive, said Mrs. Rogers. I feel like it's watching me. Ding dong. Mr. Rogers jumped. Relax, said Mrs. Rogers. You are imagining things. Go and see who is at the door. Mr. Rogers opened the door. He smiled a big smile. Well, well, he said, I have never been so glad to see you ghosts. Do come in. Amelia, Mrs. Ghost, said the ghost as it floated into the house. Mr. Rogers was a perfect host. Care for refreshments, he asked. The ghost shook its head no. Well, said Mr. Rogers, would you like to judge our costume contest? The ghost nodded yes. Attention, everybody, said Mrs. Rogers. It's time for a Halloween contest. Anyone who wishes to compete for the prize, step right this way. I'm Sunny Day, your TV weatherman. I forecast that I will win. You can't beat peace and love. This hippie has the grooviest t-shirt and bell bottoms. If I win, I will still be in a pickle. I'm all eyes, I'm all ears, and I'm right under your nose. Bravo, said Mrs. Rogers. Yes, said Mr. Rogers. I can tell that Amelia Bedelia helped them a lot. Too bad that she could not be here tonight. He winked at Mrs. Rogers. Bong, 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 bong. Just then the clock struck 10. Okay, everybody, said Mrs. Rogers. Time to take off your mask. Uh-oh, said the ghost. It tried to slip away. Whoa there, said Mr. Rogers. It's time I put my foot down. Mr. Rogers stepped on the sheet. As the ghost kept walking, the sheet was pulled off to reveal Cousin Akulu, said Mr. Rogers. Where's Amelia Bedelia? Cousin Akulu looked very afraid. He pointed behind Mr. Rogers. He opened his mouth to speak, but he was scared speechless. Mr. Rogers wheeled around. Boop! Screamed the scarecrow. Yeah! Yelled Mr. Rogers. He threw his barbell up in the air. Mr. Rogers turned around and ran right into Cousin Akulu. They both fell into a heap. Happy Halloween, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia, said Mr. Rogers. Ha ha, said Cousin Akulu. I think you should call it Amelia Bedelia. As your queen, said Mrs. Rogers. As your queen, said Mrs. Rogers, I declare Amelia Bedelia the winner for the best costume. The next day, Amelia Bedelia and Cousin Akulu came to help clean up. Great party, said Cousin Akulu. Thank you, said Mrs. Roger. We will do it again next year. Start planning your costume now. I will, said Amelia Bedelia, but you have the best ideas. Those trick-or-treaters, said Mr. Rogers. Someone piled leaves on our table. That was me, said Amelia Bedelia. That was lovely, said Mrs. Rogers. They made a beautiful centerpiece. Mrs. Rogers showed Amelia Bedelia had to add a leaf to the table. There we go, said Mrs. Rogers. Now let's set the table for lunch. Amelia Bedelia, said Mr. Rogers. I apologize for what I said yesterday. Apology accepted, said Amelia Bedelia. Try some leftover worm casserole. Mr. Rogers took a huge portion. It is very tasty. Glad you like it. I got worried yesterday when I ran out of spaghetti, said Amelia Bedelia. You ran out? Said Mr. Rogers. He took a closer look at his food. Then what is this? Said Mr. Rogers. Lucky me, said Amelia Bedelia. Every leaf I picked up in your yard had a fat, juicy worm under it. Mr. Rogers turned as green as a witch. Trick or treat, said Amelia Bedelia, laughing. The end. This was story time with Elvin, and this was Happy Haunting Amelia Bedelia. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment for more, and come back next time. Goodbye.